A very good evening at the outset. My name is Rajdeep Bora, a student of the outgoing batch of Standard 12. As the outgoing head boy and also being one of the avid sports lovers in the school, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome each one of you to today's Facebook Live session. Today we have a very talented guest amongst us who will be sharing his views about the various aspects of sports and psychology and how they are interrelated. He is none other than Dr. Anshuman Mishra, to whom we are firstly extremely thankful to for taking time out of your busy schedule amidst this huge pandemic we are going through at this moment. Welcome, sir, and also thank you for being a part of today's live session. Now let me introduce Dr. Anshuman formally to you all. Presently, Dr. Anshuman is working as a lecturer in the Government College of Physical Education, Bhubaneswar. He has completed his bachelor's, master's and doctorate from the prestigious Lakshmi Bai National Institute of Physical Education, Gwalior, with specialization in sports psychology and cricket. Also, apart from having qualified NET, JRF and SRF in physical education, back during his days, he had also represented the Odisha cricket team in under 16 and under 19 categories at the national stage. He has also represented many paper conferences abroad and in many other reputed journals as well. He has also been awarded as the youth icon in the field of physical education and sports science by many prestigious organizations. It might now take me the entire night if I am asked to talk about Sir's list of achievements. It's simply endless. So without wasting any more time, let's get the tape rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all my Facebook friends here and abroad. So firstly, I want you to address our viewers about what sports psychology is and why is it so important in the field of physical education. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's really lovely to join DPS school's initiative to start your online classes in this period of COVID pandemic. And I'm really thankful to Principal Sir to having given me this opportunity to talk on my subject. This is very close to my heart. Sports psychology is very close to my heart. And when I started this journey, I really, never thought that I'm going to be an expert someday and talk about sports psychology. And I'm still a learner, I'm still a student, and hope to continue that way. And talking about this particular question which Rajdeep has asked me about what is sports psychology. So whenever I start any topic, I always ask the audience or any of the viewers who are watching, do you need another subject? We got physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, we got psychology. Why another subject of sports psychology? Why generally we need another subject? It should be boring, yes, adding another subject.
Yes.
But I feel there is a need.
It adds burden to the students.
Yeah, it adds burden to the students. It adds books to the curriculum.
Yeah.
It's a headache. Yeah, makes our bags heavy. Gets injury, chances of injury and everything. So I don't believe in adding another subject of sports psychology. I'm sorry to tell you all my viewers, but actually I believe sports psychology, jokes apart, sports psychology is one subject which is very close to my heart, as I told you, and it deals with the behavior of sports persons, and not only sports persons, anyone involved with the sporting ecosystem. It could be sports persons, it could be players, it could be officials, it could be coaches, it could be parents, it could be guardians, it could be friends, it could be anyone who are around the sporting ecosystem. It is about studying the behavior of those people. So when it comes to sports psychology, it was very interesting because I played sports for the most part of my life, and being a cricketer, I enjoyed being drawn into sporting conquest and feeling of victory and the lows of losses and failures as well. So that is what life has taught me, to get over those failures and to win my successes. So when it comes to psychology, the importance of it can never be understated and never be overemphasized as well. So when it comes to psychology, psychology is one subject which taught me how to set a goal, for that matter. My father used to always ask me, what is your ambition in life? Till now I ask myself that question. What is my ambition in life? What is my ambition in life? I always ask my question, and it is for the viewers also to ask themselves this question. So what is your ambition in life? What is your goal in life? So if you have a goal, you go for it. There are very many steps of psychology, and this is 30 minutes discussion, and actually the subject is very vast. So I hope Rajdeep can actually take me through this process, because there are many points which I want to cover and I have in my mind, and I hope we'll try to entertain you and provide you with an informative session.
Yes. Just a few minutes back, you were talking about you being an introvert.
Yeah.
And it's rare for a sports person to be an introvert. And how did, and then you told that now you are a really aggressive batsman, wicketkeeper batsman.
Yeah.
What was it like to make that transition from an introvert to that level of aggression?
So that's a very personal thing which I started off saying to Rajdeep.
I'm sure obviously there have been many ups and downs.
Yeah, the ups and downs were many. In sports, we deal with a lot of failures and a few amount of successes. And but we have to prepare for the failures. And once you prepare it well, the success will definitely come.
Yes.
So when it came to my thing being an introvert, so I was an introvert when I started off, because I was mostly concerned about my own self when I started off playing cricket. I was a small young boy, dreaming of playing for my country someday, and starting off from Denkanal itself. So it was tough for me. When I started playing cricketers from various districts, I started realizing that my game was not up to the mark, or I was doing well. My emotions were mixed. So I started realizing what I need to improve in my own game. So when I started thinking of those improvements, small changes that I wanted to work on, I realized that my personality was also one aspect which I need to work on. Because cricket being a team game, you have to coordinate with everyone. As a wicketkeeper opener, wicketkeeper is considered to be the script writer.
Yes,
absolutely. Because you have seen MS Dhoni commanding from behind the stumps.
Yes.
You have seen many cricketers, commanding from
even
behind.
today when Virat Kohli is the captain, it's MS Dhoni who is the real anchor of the ship.
I believe
the captain of the ship.
Yeah,
Still the
absolutely.
captain.
Absolutely, rightly said. He's the captain of the ship, and actually, he coordinates all the activities because he's the camera.
Yes.
He's the captain's camera. I always believe. If he's not the captain, he's the captain's camera.
Yes.
Because he can tell what the bowler is doing right, what is going wrong, what the batsman's weaknesses are.
Yes.
Everything. It is not only for the wicketkeeper. It is also for a footballer, the same goalkeeper. It is for a hockey goalkeeper. They actually anchor all the activities of the team. So when I started off as an introvert, I started coordinating with everyone on field. So it was initially, icebreakers. I had to introduce icebreakers in the conversation. I never knew how to communicate with others. I started communicating. Okay, so आज कैसा लग रहा है तुम्हें? So I started asking. Okay, I had to learn this kind of icebreakers. So आज कौन सी अरे यार सैटरडे को मूवी देखने गया था. कौन सा मूवी देखा था?
Okay.
So I started interacting. Things other than our sport.
From underconfident you became a
confident guy, because I was interacting on other aspects other than my own sports.
Yes.
I was concerned, least bothered about what I was as a person. I started communicating with others. I started taking interest in others' affairs.
Okay. Yes.
Their interest in me was nothing of my concern. My interest in them became my concern, and suddenly I felt I was improving as a human being as well. I became an ambivert, and that helped my game definitely. Talking about personality changes.
Yes. And how has your parents played a role in this journey?
That's a big thing that has actually concerned me a lot. Because talking about my father was an avid sports lover, and he was attached to the Sai hostel as well. My father's a doctor, and he used to play all kinds of sports, but he was not an elite sports person for that matter. But he has represented the university teams in various tournaments, and he was a national level table tennis player.
Okay.
So that was that was my one aspect from my father's side. But my mother's side, on the other hand, my mother was least bothered about sports.
Every Indian mother.
I can't say that. I can't say that. My mother was least bothered about sports. She was always into me studying, taking care of my books, taking care of my assignments, going for my tuitions. Doesn't matter whether it's at 4 o'clock, which was very horrific for me.
Okay.
4 o'clock was the time for me playing sports, and my mother used to push me for tuitions,
Okay.
4 to 6. So my father used to understand. My mother used to actually really provoke me that way. Sometimes I had fights with my mother as well. As a kid, sorry, as a kid then. So when I said all these things, my mother slowly understood that my passions were for the game. She understood. In fact, as a kid, I was progressing in my game. My mother also took concern in my game. She started packing my tiffins. She used to stuff my tiffins with sandwiches. She was never concerned about my nutrition, but she started giving me protein-rich foods. Indirectly.
Unknowingly.
She started praying for me with those diyas and every prayer that she used to do for my matches. And slowly I gained that confidence. My parents were supportive in those regards. Even if I flunked a test or something, they never questioned my attitude about my game, and never told me to drop my love for the game or something, which helped me. In that matter, the family's environment should be positive, and no matter what, they should be actually practical in this regard. If the kid is doing well, they should promote. If the kid is not, they should have to have that straight eye-to-eye conversation with the kid and teach them the basics of success in the life, as well as giving the lessons about failure. That's what my parents did.
That's nice. When I'm a sports person myself,
Yeah.
and I also understand a lot of these things, and when I find a person sitting beside to me, and when I can talk with that person about sports, it refreshes my mind. Sports is like it's a very beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Most people don't realize. And well, we'll talk about the next topic. In our class 11-12 curriculum,
Yeah.
in physical education especially, I have studied myself. We have this topic, sports psychology,
Yeah.
and you're an expert in that. So we
Sure.
have learned about only 4 things. I know these 4 things are just a very small part of the entire subject, but still I would like to know more about aggression.
Okay.
And when we talk about aggression, the first sports person which comes to our mind is none other than Virat Kohli.
Yeah. So
Virat Kohli is very aggressive, we all know that,
Yeah.
and he even use curse words in the middle of the games. He sledges, and he loves it when he's sledging more, and he's able to get into the opponent's minds. And then the captain before Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni, extreme contrasting personalities. How do you think that affects the performance of the teams? But like does personality differences matter in a team's performance? Personality differences in a captain, especially the captain, because he's the leader.
Yeah. Actually, I really believe that they are very contrasting personalities, Virat Kohli and MS Dhoni. Talking about leadership roles, the leader is like the focal point of the team. We always have a father figure for us, and the captain is like the father figure for the team. So in the times of distress, he's the man with the decision-making abilities. The consequence-bearing decisions that he takes results in those championship winning or championship losing matches.
So at the end of the day, he's the one responsible.
He's responsible.
Be the win or lose.
Yeah, absolutely. So it might be MS Dhoni taking all those cool decisions. It might be Virat Kohli taking those hard charged decisions. Doesn't matter. The decision is a decision. So one's process or mental processes that one undergoes to take a decision might be different. One is cool in one's aspect. One is very extrovert in terms of demonstrating one's attitudes on field. It never matters in those regards, because at the end of the day, everyone has their own personality, and we can never play sport by a typical textbook kind of a thing. Everyone has their own style, their personality, and they bring it to their game. As I always believe in one quote, as you be in life, you are always in your game. So whatever things you do in your life, it rubs on into your game, and whatever things you do in your game, it rubs on into your life. So if you are confident about your own self, you'll be confident in all the other aspects of life as well. If you are mostly an anxious kind of a person who is struggling to find his fit, you'll definitely be anxious about other things as well. So talking about this thing, both these people are confident individuals. Otherwise, they would have not led the team, Indian team, which is actually one of the greatest teams in the current times as of now. So
at the same time, we can never, underestimate Kohli's ability, because he has done it at the under-19 level once.
Yeah.
He has already won the under-19 World Cup for our country, and based on that, he was obviously given the captaincy. But as Indians, as a true Indian, we want our Indian team to shine, no doubt, at the world stage, biggest stage. So when India lost the World Cup last year, it was really hard. We went out on a really heartbreaking fashion. So most people, doubted Kohli's ability as a captain, and
to answer that, actually, I got to go back to your last question, revert back to your last question. Actually, aggression is a very negative term.
Okay.
Aggression is actually based on harming some individual. Aggression is of two types basically: hostile aggression, and another one is instrumental aggression. Hostile aggression is basically mostly directed towards a person's body. Might be in a football match, I want to tackle a player at his the ankle or his knee.
Physically.
Yeah, harming them physically. The target is to harm the individual. Hostile aggression. Hostile means hostilities. You made that separation kind of a thing.
Yes.
So hostilities, I believe in that thing. So another aspect is instrumental aggression. Instrumental aggression is you are trying to direct your efforts in an indirect way, but the purpose is winning. For example, a boxer trying to punch or outbox another boxer. So he has to hit on the face, but it's not target. His target was never to kill the other boxer.
Yes.
He wanted to get the maximum points.
Yes.
He does it within the rules. The target is to get as many points as possible so that he can win the tournament, the match rather. But in hostile aggression, even after the bell rings, the boxer keeps on punching. That is beyond the rules.
That usually happens in WWE.
Yeah, it happens.
But even though that's scripted.
Yeah, that's scripted.
That's
WWE,
that's scripted. Obviously.
The word entertainment comes in. Worldwide entertainment.
It's scripted.
It's scripted.
You can't. That's not realistic.
Yeah,
That's idealistic.
Yeah, it's scripted.
And okay, that's how. And when in basketball, I've been watching basketball for past 1 year.
Yeah.
And in there also they talk trash.
Yeah.
They get
in the heads.
Yeah, they come to the free throw line, and they're about to
They
shoot.
get under your skin.
They get under the skin, and they just keep on talking trash. Like I remember an instant when Michael Jordan's teammate Scottie Pippen during those Chicago Bulls days in the 90s, and then there was the other team, Utah Jazz's best player, I guess, Karl Malone. He just went to take the free throw, and Karl Malone's nickname was the mailman.
Okay.
And the day they were playing the game was a Sunday, and Scottie Pippen says, "The mailman doesn't deliver on Sundays."
Okay, so it's an indirect way of
Indirect
overlooking
way.
things.
And
So
just
you are going to have an off day.
and basically he ends up missing both the free throws, and Bulls end up winning the NBA championship. Like
You must have heard about the Monkey Gate scandal.
Monkey Gate scandal, yes.
Yeah, Jelly Beans
and
controversy.
Andrew Simmons and Harbhajan Singh.
Ah.
That was I read about that in Sachin Tendulkar's book. I read the book, Playing It My Way. And I got to know about it in that book, and very unfortunate. India-Australia rivalries are always about sledging most of the time.
This take a toll on the individuals as well.
Yes,
Simons was never the player after that.
Yeah.
He was such a great batsman, a great all-rounder on the other side.
He was a strong guy.
Very fit fielder, very
fearless.
Very fearless cricketer.
Fearless.
And I remember his World Cup 100, which actually he massacred all the bowlers. He literally thrashed everyone around the park. I remember Ricky Ponting's innings. I remember Simon's innings. So, I'll love to talk about one aspect of sports psychology. That is motivation, if you won't mind.
Motivation, yes.
Yeah.
That's another aspect of sports psychology, right?
Yeah, that's really fun to talk about. But I believe it has to be understood well to draw the best out of it. So talking about sports psychology and motivation, the word motivation comes from motivate. To motive.
To motive.
Yeah,
To have a
to
motivation.
stir up. That thing comes up. But motivation is basically of two types. You are talking about internal motivation, external motivation.
Internal, you get something from
Yes,
inside.
something from. I have a nice story to share. You know about Ronaldinho?
Yes, I know.
Ronaldinho, Brazilian great. He was dropped from the team. He was not doing well. Suddenly, I don't remember which club he was playing for. His father died. His father had died
Okay.
that day. So he went on. He was crying literally the whole match,
Okay.
and he scored a hat trick. And all the while, he was celebrating every goal by
I remember.
he was saluting the skies,
Yes.
looking at his father, who was
He was playing for Sao Paulo.
Sao-
Sao Paulo.
yeah, Brazilian club.
Yeah, black and white stripes.
Black and white
I
stripes.
remember the game.
Yeah, I remember the game, but I was not remembering the club's name. So nice of you. So it was such a moving moment in sports. These are situations, many people play for the glamour aspect of the sports.
Yes.
The interviews,
Yes.
the parties that after win
After
parties.
parties.
These are the glamour side of the sports. What about the dark side of the
Do you think
sports?
that's bad?
I don't believe in that aspect.
Oh,
I don't believe in that aspect because champions are not made that way.
yes. Because the entire season your motive was to win the championship,
Yeah.
not to party.
Yeah, it was never the goal.
It was never-
And actually, playing any sport for that matter, life is a sport, it's a never ending goal.
Yes.
You keep on transitioning from one goal to another goal, you never stop. That is the beauty of life. So, when it comes to being a successful sports person, being a successful doctor, or a successful scientist, or a teacher for that matter, it's about moving from one specific goal to another specific goal. You can never concentrate on one goal and think that is the end of my world. It is never that way. अगर ऐसा होता तो सब लोग पता है एक गोल अचीव करते और फिर बैठ जाते हैं.
Mm-hmm.
There are many rags to riches stories and riches to rags stories as well.
Yes. Yeah.
They become millionaires in one day by winning a lottery, but they don't have the mindset to hold on to that money and to go back to being all those hoopers.
They reach where they came from.
Yeah, because your mindset is that. Your mindset has to be rich.
Yes.
It's not about money. It's about being rich with knowledge. It's about richness of health. It's about well-being. It's about all the aspects of life. Yeah, it's being a beautiful human being. So I'd rather stress that aspect.
Yeah, that's great. And just interesting. This time it will be an interesting question. Who is your favorite sports person and why? Like your favorite sports person in terms of someone who displays true sense of sportsmanship, discipline, everything, like whatever you mentioned, who is your favorite sports person in that sense and why?
Okay, I have many.
Okay.
And for the viewers, I tell you one thing. Everyone should role model someone in their lives. It doesn't matter which sport. I'm a cricketer, but I role model Roger Federer, a tennis star. I role model Lionel Messi.
I'm a CSM fan.
Okay. Fine. Fine to know about it. So, your role models can be different from different games, but it never matters because I'm looking at the characters. I'm looking at the resilience abilities. When they're actually bouncing back from failures. Messi also had an injury, he came back. Roger Federer had many career-defining injuries, but he came back always. He came back stronger. He has new strategies to overcome the younger players as of now, and still winning Grand Slams. How can he do it? These people are actually pushing the limits of human excellence. So this is what actually provokes me as an sports person or a lover of sports to understand that every sport has their own rules and regulation. Doesn't matter whether I'm from cricket or he's from football. never matters to me. It is about the attitudes that we share rather than the games you share. Talking about my favorite cricketer, I would love to say that I love two cricketers, Adam Gilchrist being one of them, as a lefty wicketkeeper opener. So obviously, as a big fan of
Yes.
the Aussie, and he was very honest in terms of batting, and he used to walk off. And
Mhm.
if he got out, he used to just walk off. He was a walker. So I used to love that attitude. So you play the game in the spirit of the game. Even in the World Cup semi-final, where he was cursed for actually walking off, Ricky Ponting literally abused him by saying that it's a World Cup semi-final, you're walking off, and your umpire is not giving out. That's what these great players teach us. They teach us to respect the rules and regulations. And I also loved Saurav Ganguly as a player. He was my favorite captain, Dada, one from East Zone, and literally I was a big fan of Dada. And because I used to copy his game, I used to love his style, I used to love his aggressions, and Indian cricket was never at his peak, but Ganguly made it possible.
Ganguly was the reason of 2011 basically.
Yeah.
He laid the foundation of the entire.
Yes, 2003 we were the
He
runners.
never won it, but he laid the foundation.
Absolutely.
He made way for everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely.
After 28 years, still remember that commentary of Ravi Shastri. Still give goosebumps.
Yeah.
20, it's an Indian captain who's
Yeah.
running in the night of the finals. Okay. Well, just another question. Past January, last week of January, we with that a great sports person left us, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
And as a tribute to him, if you have something to like, if he has any in any
Mamba
way
mentality.
Mamba mentality, how has he helped you?
So,
Because he has inspired an entire generation. He was the best player of the 2000s, basically.
he was known as the Mamba. I remember
The
Mamba is a
Black
snake.
Mamba. Black Mamba.
The Black Mamba. So, talking about the Black Mamba, I can never stress enough. When he was rising in ranks in terms of basketballing skills, he was one of the hardest practitioners of the game. He used to practice for about 16 hours, 14 hours, the rigorous hours that he used to put in those gymnasiums of basketball. And he used to practice all alone. He was a very skinny fellow when he started off.
Yes, I remember that.
He was a very skinny fellow when he started off. He was so committed to developing his own game that he went on to become a rock solid 6 foot or something. I don't
He's
know.
a 15-time on defensive.
15-time
on.
MVP, most number of MVPs, I still remember.
Yes.
He has own
He has the second most All-Star appearance.
All-Star appearance.
Well, he has only one MVP though.
Okay.
In 2008 or 9, I don't remember the year.
Okay.
And people still talk about he deserved more MVPs, but he
Yeah.
did not get it. But still,
Lakers and those t-shirt.
yes,
That t-shirt I still
20
remember.
years, 20 years a Laker. He retired a Laker.
Laker.
And I remember that day, my pre-board exams were going on.
Yeah.
25th Jan. And then my maths pre-board exams were going on. One of my friends come to me and he tells me that
Kobe Bryant is no more.
he did not say that. He told me a famous basketball player he died. He said crash हुआ ऐसा ऐसा. कुछ since he does not remember the name, I thought maybe he's not that famous.
Yeah.
Like had he been that famous, he would have remembered the name and would have told me at that moment that it was Kobe Bryant. I went home and then I opened YouTube and I saw a tribute video. I was shocked. I was literally in tears. Like you won't believe it, but that day when the exam was going on, after my maths paper was done, I was actually thinking of him.
Okay.
I was actually thinking of him. And then the fact that I went home and then came to know that he left us, I was shocked. And
It gave me a perspective about life, because life is so uncertain.
uncertain, live at the moment.
Live in the moment. You don't bother about what's going on, whether you're going to be a successful
Because he was father to 4 daughters and he was training all of them to be great humans.
Great human.
And the daughter,
She died.
Gianna Bryant, she also left.
Yeah.
Gianna was training to be a great basketball player. Someday she would have become a great basketball
Now
player.
we're actually speaking volumes about her talent.
Yeah, because in basketball we often ignore the women NBA, WNBA.
Yeah.
We always talk about the men's version. So I guess Gianna Brand was would have been the next big thing in women's basketball. It was extremely unfortunate for
Yeah,
all
it was
of us.
very unfortunate, and actually it was very moving for all the sports person around the globe.
Yes,
Because,
because he had not only inspired athletes in basketball,
Yeah,
every sport.
absolutely.
Everyone paid tribute. It was a huge loss for all of us.
Yeah.
And I remember the All-Star game.
Mhm.
Usually basketball, NBA All-Star games have never competitive because the best players play and
Yeah, you're rightly, you're right. You're right in those regards. The
I'm
that's,
sorry if I've gone towards basketball too much.
no, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. The mama mentality. It's actually thought provoking for everyone around the world.
Yes, exactly.
And,
that's what I wanted to bring.
So
It's a Mamba mentality.
yeah,
And I remember, as I was telling, All-Star games are never competitive. NBA All-Star games are never competitive because the best players are playing and their main motive is never to win anything, because even if they win that game, they won't lose anything, because at the end of the day, the championship is the main aim. So what happens after Kobe Bryant's death, the format of the NBA All-Star game changed this year.
yeah.
I watched that game and there was fierce competitiveness, and that was like a huge tribute to Kobe Bryant. Long live the Mamba, RIP.
Yeah, I remember another incident also, so the 63 not out incident, Philip Hughes death
Philip
in
Hughes,
cricket.
yes.
So these are turning events, the sports person dies on field. In fact, we consider it to be a battleground. And we never know. In fact, it was very moving for me. He was a fellow opener, he was a lefty opener and from Australia. And he died at 63 not out. Got a freak accident from a ball hitting behind his skull. So that was a moving moment for me as well. Suddenly I started to realize whether I'm safe. But these concerns were overcome slowly by the passion for the game and for the love of it. Because these small incidents actually happen, and we can never control all those small things. And life goes on, as you say.
Yeah.
We should be happy.
Okay. So I hope all of you are enjoying this. We have almost come to the end of this live talk. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you
It
so
was a
much.
wonderful discussion on
Thank you
various
so much.
aspects of
Thank you so
sports and psychology and their interrelation. I hope all of you have enjoyed and have got a pretty good idea of sports in psychology, sports in psychological sense, because it is something which is not to be considered as a topic or a chapter in school evaluation, in textbooks. It should be a life lesson.
It's a life.
It should be considered
life
as a
skill.
Life skill, exactly. Life skill. So I hope every one of you might have enjoyed this live session as much as I enjoyed hosting Dr.
I
Anshuman.
loved it. Rajiv.
Thank you so much, sir. So thank you, sir, once again for being a part of today's live session, and more importantly for taking time out of your busy schedule, because we know how busy you are, and the traveling part, I know it's really hectic and tiring. So it was an honor for me to host you, sir,
It was an
and
absolute
for you to
privilege.
talk about yourself and your views. So finally, we have reached to today's end of Facebook live session. To all our viewers staying here and abroad, please make sure to like our school DPS Zenkanal's Facebook page to stay updated about more and more interesting and entertaining things in the days to come. With this, I would like to take your leave and sign off. Goodbye. Thank you. Jai Hind. Namaste.
Thank you.
नस नस मेरी खोले हाय कुछ करिए बस बस बड़ा बोले अब कुछ करिए ओ कोई तो चल सिर्फ पड़िए तू पे तरिए या मरिए हाय कोई तो चल सिर्फ पड़िए तू पे तरिए या